Hey Ellie, yeah, I hope you're doing well. It's been a long time. Hopefully we can get you back in the library working maybe a couple of part days a week. We can talk about that later once you get started with your semester. But with respect to populating those new variables you created, it's a pretty easy process. So I've pulled up the 6-year data set, the copy that you shared with me a little while ago. And I'm starting off, the first thing I did is I sorted the variables so they're in easy to manage order. And now let's look at this categorical college variable. Let's just take a look first at the descriptive statistics so you can see what kind of data are in there. So I just go to Analyze, Descriptive Stats, and Frequencies. And then I've already plugged in college in the 6-year, and I say OK. And you can see that we have these 4, 5, 8 colleges plus a none variable. This is actually a string variable. I'm looking here. And so you can see that either you or Synduja, you use letter coding for each college. So take note of the letter coding. For example, AR is arts and architecture. Now let's go back to our data view. And it's just as simple as I'm going to just copy the data, the full data from the college into the art and architecture column. And then I'm just going to now code anything that's AR, which was the code for art architecture, to a 1. And I'm going to code all of the other items to 0. So I'm just going to, I have the column highlighted. I'm searching for AR for art and architecture. We're going to replace all of those with 1. And I just happen to know what the other codes are because I was working with a similar data set a little while ago. So there was some 0 zeros. Those were the nones. They didn't have any assignment. So we're going to code that to 0. There's AS, that's for the College of Arts and Sciences. We're going to replace that with 0. Let's see, we also have BU for business. Replace that. ED for education. EN for engineering. Again, we want this variable for art and architecture to be any student who was enrolled in the College of Arts and Architecture in their 6th year will be 1s and all others will be 0s. Let's see, we have HS, that's for the College of Health and Human Services. IT is for College in Computing and Informatics. And then UC is for University College. Now let's go back into our variable view because we probably, yes, we want to change this now. It should all be numbers. We want to change it to a numeric variable type. And when we transferred the data over, it took out the codings that you had put in. I'm sorry that happened. The value, the labels and the values also we need to change. Let's just go ahead and say 0 is not art architecture and 1 is art architecture. So now we just have the two value labels. I'm going to go ahead and save that. For some reason, I don't know if it's the file or my computer, but things have been a little buggy, so I do recommend you saving every so often. And now before I move on, I want to do a descriptive stats frequencies keep that college in 6 years. And now, let's see. And now let's add in the art and architecture. And really what I'm wanting to do here is in our initial categorical variable, we had 364 students in art and architecture. And we want to make sure that the new variable reflects that same data. So we have 364 in art architecture, that's good. 11,144 not. And I know that it's off the screen. And we want to make sure the total number of cases matches the total number of cases, and that the number of art and architecture students is correctly coded in our new variable. So now I will go back and repeat the process for the other variables. So let's see where we're at. I'll do one more just so you have another example. All right, so we've done art and architecture. Let's move on to business. So I'm going to copy over this data. This time we're going to, let's search first for BU for business. And we want that to be coded as 1. And then everything else we want to be 0. So AR, I just have this list written down. I find that's kind of helpful for me. AS, let's see, ED, EN, HS, IT, UC, and that might be it. Now let's go ahead and again check those descriptive stats to see if we brought in the business data correctly. And I can see here that we need to create our new labels, and also didn't catch graduate school, which is GS. So first we're going to correct graduate school. Anything GS we're going to turn into a 0. Then we'll go back in under variable view and add in the value labels. So let's see, still in business, we got to do that final search for GS and turn all those into 0s. I'm going to just save my file. Like I said, I had a lot of failures and had to start over tonight. And then we're going to go in here into the business. We're going to change that to a numeric. Just say OK. We got to change these, unfortunately, the label. And I'm going to say 0 is not business and 1 is business. And now I'm going back into analyze, descriptive stats and frequencies, and I'm going to just check check the frequencies one more time. So we should have 1,876 business students, and that's what we have. And again, I'm checking the totals for business and the grand total for the whole population. And for the other variables, for the dichotomous variables like co-curricular engagement, library engagement, that that should be a little easier, I think, because those variables were initially categorized with numerical values, so you won't have to switch from the string to the numeric. I hope that helps, and I'm still going to be working quite a while tonight, so let me know if you still have questions.